Echoes of Two Hearts by Dan Mason. Part 4. Jason sat in silence, his heart heavy with the weight of his decision. He had loved Sophia, and he had unknowingly loved Emily too. But everything had become tangled in lies and deception. Now, even with the truth laid bare before him, he couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal, the sense that the love he thought was real had been fractured into something unrecognizable. As he looked across the table at Emily, her eyes searching his, he felt the words forming in his throat. He had to leave. He had to walk away from all of this, from the confusion, from the memories tainted by the secret she and Sophia had kept for so long. But before he could speak, Emily reached out and placed her hand on his. "I know what you're thinking, Jason," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I know you want to leave, and I can't blame you. I've been selfish, and I hurt you in ways I can't even begin to explain. But there's something you need to know before you decide." Jason froze, his breath catching in his throat as he stared at her. The look in her eyes was different now, an unspoken plea, a vulnerability he hadn't seen before. His heart quickened. But he said nothing, waiting for her to continue. "I'm pregnant, Jason," Emily said softly, her voice barely a whisper. "I found out a few days ago. I was going to tell you, but then everything happened with Sophia, and I didn't know how to bring it up." Jason felt the world tilt beneath him. Pregnant. The word echoed in his mind, reverberating like a distant bell tolling in the fog. His thoughts scrambled to catch up, his mind racing with possibilities. "Pregnant," he repeated, barely able to process it. Emily nodded, her hand gripping his more tightly now. "Yes, and there's more. I'm having twins, a boy and a girl." The weight of her words crashed down on Jason like a tidal wave, knocking the air from his lungs. Twins. Twins, just like her and Sophia. The irony wasn't lost on him. It was as though fate had tied him irrevocably to this family, to this moment. His heart pounded in his chest as his mind raced through the possibilities of a life he hadn't imagined just minutes before. Emily's voice broke through his racing thoughts. "I know, Jason. I know you were going to leave me. I could see it in your eyes. And after everything, I wouldn't blame you. But I need you now more than ever. Not just for me, but for them." Her free hand drifted down to her stomach, resting there protectively. Jason's gaze followed, and for the first time, he saw the faint outline of a future he hadn't expected. A future not of rebellion or heartbreak, but of fatherhood, of two new lives growing, of the responsibility that now weighed heavily on his shoulders. He had no idea how to feel about Emily, no idea if he could ever fully forgive her for what had happened. But the thought of leaving her now, of leaving the children they had created, seemed impossible.